set up your Sickening Reaper from Spirit Halloween 2013. Your parts list is as follows. 4 poles labeled O, waist pole labeled G, floor base labeled B, the waist light rack, head labeled J, module labeled H, 2 hands and scythe, arms labeled S and L, fabric liner, head or robe or coat cover, main clothing, the things to assemble the scythe, lower base poles labeled C, middle base poles labeled D, and upper base poles labeled E. And of course, the adapter, 6 volt, 2 amp. First thing you're going to want to do to set this guy up is take your bottom clothesliner, spread it out on the floor, making sure that the Velcro side is facing upwards towards you. The next thing you're going to do is take the floor base labeled B and go ahead and put it on top of the bottom clothesliner. Go ahead and spread it out so that the bottom clothesliner is actually over, it's over the floor base labeled B. Next, take your 2 poles labeled C and go ahead and click them into place on the floor base labeled B. Please note that there is a hole at the bottom of the pole and a button on the connecting piece. When you insert these, make sure that the loop or cylinder attached to the pole is facing inward. Push the button in, line it up with the hole, and make sure it clicks to lock into place. Do that with the same side. Next, take the metal liner that connects to the poles or metal stabilizer and slide it into the loops. Before you fully snap the bottom poles labeled C into the base, make sure that this stabilizing piece of metal is inside of this bracket right here. Then on each side, click it in to lock it into place. You should have something that looks like this. Take the 2 poles labeled D and connect them into the corresponding parts. It does not matter which side that both poles go on. There's also another hole in this pole in the bottom of the poles labeled D. Go ahead and push the button in and push it down to lock it into place, such as. Do the same thing with the other side. Next, take the upper poles labeled E and connect them to the very top of the poles labeled D. Same thing with the bottom poles. There's another ring or cylinder loop. Please make sure that this is facing inward and push the button in, line the hole up, and make sure it clicks to lock it into place. You should now have something that looks like this. Next, take the clothes. There's a space at the bottom of the clothes, or rather a hole, where they slide over. Take these clothes and slide them over the entire pole assembly. Please note there is a Velcro patch in the back. You will need this later. And also make sure that the arms are facing out and this part is facing forward. You should have something like this where the clothes are all the way down. Next, take the center loop labeled G and slide it into the 2 slots on the poles labeled E. You should have something that looks very similar to this. Next, take the module labeled H and attach it to the 2 poles labeled E. The same thing is present on the module as all the poles. Next, take the light pole and slide it into the slots on either side. Next, take the wire coming from the loop and take the center wire or center connector and attach them together. It does not matter which one. Next, take the arms labeled S and L and attach them to the corresponding areas. There is a wire coming from the module and a wire coming out of the arm. The wire, or the pole, or the arm rather, labeled S, slides into this slot right here where the wire is, just like that. And this arm slides into the other side, exactly like the other way. Next, take the two wires and connect them together, making sure you're observing proper polarity and how the wires should be connected. You get the idea. Just like that, you'll hear a click. Next, take the clothing that you've slid over the module in one of the previous steps. There are two slots for the arms. Slide the two slots over the arms, making sure you've adjusted it. You should have something that looks like this. Next, take the right and the left hand and attach them to their corresponding areas. The pointing hand has a wire coming out of it, and the pointing arm also has a wire coming out of it. Match the two up and connect the wires together. Just like that. Then take the other hand and connect it into place. It should just simply slide on, just like that. Next, go under the base and attach the Velcro on top of, or in the clothes, to the base mat. Do this all the way around. Next, take the head labeled J and attach it to the slot on top. Take the wire coming from the head right here and attach it to the pole or the wire connector. Simply right there. You should have something that looks very similar like this. Next, there is Velcro right here that runs all the way down to right here. Go ahead and attach all that Velcro and make sure it goes all the way up. Then take these staff pieces and the 4 staff poles and connect them together. It does not matter which way they get connected, as long as they get connected properly. Now there is a connector on one of the poles. Take the other pole and connect it through the connector. Next, to attach it into place, separate the two, take the top one and slide it into the holes in the middle of the hand. This can be quite tricky when you're doing it with a camera in your hand. You should have something that looks like this. Next, take the bottom part and attach it to this part. And you should have something very straight that looks like this in the hand. Next, take the top of the scythe and attach it to the very top. You can point it whichever way. If you want to have it pointing faceward or forward, you can do so. Next, take the hood and slide it over the back. You might also have to put it forward a little bit if it does not work. You should have something that looks like this. Then, the very last step, take the 2 Velcros that are attached to either side of the cloak or the hood and attach them together. There's also Velcro on top of the head and Velcro on the top of the hood. Attach the two together, and as always, adjust the hood and clothing for a unlifelike appearance. Your setup is now complete. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this little setup video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, or if this is your first video on this channel, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.